Hi there, my name is Rae-Mi Leroy, and I am just a regular Catholic person who loves to share their faith. And today, I just would love for you to meditate and think about with me how God does not need us, He wants us, and He chose us. And I'm thinking about this because I have this quote. I love sharing quotes, as you know, from Saint Irenaeus. And in describing God, Saint Irenaeus says, He is rich, perfect, and in need of nothing. And he also says, in proportion to God's need of nothing is man's need for communion with God. So we're the ones that need God. He doesn't need us, right? And the end of this quote goes like this: This is the glory of man, to persevere and remain in the service of God. For this reason, the Lord told his disciples, You did not choose me, but I chose you. He meant that his disciples did not glorify him by following him, but in following the Son of God, they were glorified by him. Okay, so we get this mixed up a lot, don't we? In so many ways, but I think that we do often think, that we're the ones glorifying God by following him. Like, I'm glorifying God by talking to you about him right now, right? That would be a mistake. He's the one who's glorifying me. If I say or do anything today or anytime, whether I'm, talking to somebody in person or making a video or anything like that, it's because he's glorifying me. I'm being glorified by him. Okay, so that's what's happening. And I just love reflecting on the fact that he chose us. Like, we did not choose him, he chose us. I mean, this is a mistake we make too. I mean, we have this mindset like, I'm the one who decides and I'm the one, we think we have this control and this pride, but if we're able to follow him, it's because he chose us in the first place, and I love that he doesn't need us. We need him. Everything we do in our faith is for us. It's because we need it. He doesn't need it. We need it. And it allows us to be who he created us to be fully alive, fully ourselves, and it always blows my mind, when people say, oh, there's so many rules, but you're already following rules. You just don't realize it. Just think about it. But he's giving us what we need to be fully alive, to be fully ourselves, to have the most peace and joy and love that we can possibly have in our lives. When we pray, it's for us, because when we are connecting with him, we're being who we were created to be. That's what we were created to do. And you can feel it, you can feel it when you're with him and when you're focused on him, when you're really focused on him, it's like, oh yeah, like, oh, this makes sense. I'm relaxed now. Like, I'm getting so caught up in the day-to-day and the tasks and what this person thinks and wants. And, when you focus on him and you get what I like to call the eternal perspective on life and the whole point of it all, it's just, you get this rush of peace and joy, this joy that just surpasses your circumstances, and gives you that foundation of that peace, no matter what's happening around you. And I just love too that, I mean, isn't it refreshing that he wants us but doesn't need us. I mean, we're so used to in the world, right? With the people we're around. I mean, and it's not necessarily not well meaning, but we tend to, as human beings, we talk to somebody because we want something from them, right? Or, we need something from them in some way. And with God, it's not like he just wants to be with us. He just loves us just because. He doesn't want to use us. He doesn't need us. And I think it's hard for us to wrap our minds around that, so we often turn God into like he's a person, and I make this mistake too, especially with achievements and whatever. It's like, I got to do this well for God, or he's going to like kick me out or something. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. That's not the way God works. I listened to this amazing lecture from the Thomistic Institute podcast. There's just some incredible lectures on there. And this one it was wonderful. I listened to it yesterday. I'm probably going to listen to it a couple more times. It's called Burnout Society. And I can't remember offhand who the speaker was. Let me find it because he deserves credit. Dr. R.J. Snell, and it's called Burnout Society, and it's the Thomistic Institute podcast. But he said, and there's so many great things said about the parable of the sower. But I love that he said that, the sower, who's God, right, is just throwing the seed everywhere. And he's like, if you actually were a farmer or you planted things, you wouldn't throw your seed on rocky ground. I mean, it's expensive, you wouldn't waste your money or your time. But God has infinite grace, infinite mercy. He doesn't have to worry about that. He just sprinkles it everywhere. And he wants all of us to answer to that. He wants all of us to turn to him. But he's never going to force us to do it. So I just think that's a beautiful thought. And I happen to be a fan of The Chosen. And they talk about this too in The Chosen, when Jesus calls Simon the Zealot, and he throws his weapon away, and Simon is so confused, he goes, well, what do you, I don't understand, if you need me to be a warrior and you threw away my weapon. And Jesus is like, I don't need anything, I want you, and I think it comes up again in another episode. So I just think that's beautiful. And it's something we need to be reminded of all the time. I think we just fall into that. We can be so prideful, right? It's like, I went to daily mass. You're welcome, God. I spent 30 minutes with you. Aren't I great? And that's not the way it works at all. It's really all for us. It's really all to help us have that love, receive that love, and live in that love, and allow him to live through us. So that's just what I've been thinking about today. And I love to meditate on that and think about that. And, all of these things we need to think about and remind ourselves about every single day. So I hope you're all having a wonderful Lent. Easter is just around the corner. I think we're halfway through Lent this weekend at the time I'm making this anyway. So I hope everyone is doing well. God bless you.